But in this place, I came here alone. He's actually not alive. Yes. That's why he's not alive. You know that you are saying that, but you don't come crazy. You know that's where you see where I'm sitting. No, she loves to make because
Honorable members, Mr. Speaker.
Prayers, Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness have appointed the office of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity. We beseech you to look upon with the abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge.
Item number 2 on the order paper, communication from the chair.
Thank you. Colleagues, I welcome you to today's special sitting. This sitting is entirely dedicated to paying tribute to Her Majesty, the Queen of England, the late Queen Elizabeth II. Without preempting the motion by the Right Honorable Prime Minister and Leader of Government Business, the world is in a period of mourning following the death of Her Majesty, the Queen Elizabeth II, which occurred on Tuesday, 8 September 2022. The Speaker of this House led us in signing a condolence book at the British High Commission, and today I also went together with the executive of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, where we went and signed the condolence book and paid respect. Honorable members, as head of the Commonwealth which we belong, it is commendable that we join the rest of the world and other Commonwealth parliaments to pay tribute to Her Majesty. Colleagues, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II was an immaculate, action-driven monarch who did not sit back in Buckingham Palace. She rolled her sleeves with a kind of passion and commitment that left the entire world in admiration. The Commonwealth was created to foment international cooperation and trade links between its members across the world. As its head, Queen Elizabeth II grew its membership from 7 countries to 56, representing over 2.5 billion people. This is extremely commendable. She achieved this also by traveling over around 200 times the Commonwealth countries, share ideas and preach unity. She first visited Uganda in 1954 and again in 2007 to attend the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. To honor her, one of our national parks is named after her, and that national park, part of it is in my constituency. She once said, if we all go forward together with unwavering faith, a high courage and a quiet heart, we shall be able to make this ancient Commonwealth, which we all love so dearly, and even grander thing, more free, more prosperous, more happy, and more powerful influence for good in the world. I urge all of you, honorable colleagues, to learn from the distinguished service and exemplary leadership of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Honorable members, the call to leadership is a call to unite, it's a call to grow and inspire the people under your charge. Let us honor her memory
and legacy by contributing to the Commonwealth and indeed Uganda to ensure that we leave it better than we found it. As a House, we also take this opportunity to congratulate the successor, King Charles III. Being from the royal family, he learned from the best, and we know that the mantle is in very safe hands. I therefore use this opportunity, colleagues, to call upon you that we all stand up to observe a minute of silence in honor of Her Majesty.
May the soul of the late Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II rest in eternal peace.
And indeed, may God grant the people of the United Kingdom, the Commonwealth, fortune in overcoming grief, and may the evermore and loving Lord grant Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth eternal peace. Next item.
Item number 3 on the order paper, motion to pay tribute to the late Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II for her exemplary leadership
From the British High Commission in Kampala. They include Her Excellency Kate Airy, British High Commissioner to Uganda. Mr. Philip Smith, Development Director. Mr. Simon, Councilor. Ms. Christine Akidia, Political and Governance Officer. They are all here to listen to the motion pay tribute to the late Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. Please join me in welcoming them. Also, our colleagues, again, this afternoon in the VIP gallery, we have former leader of opposition, Honorable Professor Ogenga Morris Latigo Wodamida, who welcomed Her Majesty in 2007 when he was the leader of opposition to this house. And he represented Agago North constituency, Agago district. He's here to listen to proceedings as we pay respect to Her Majesty. Professor, you're always welcome. We also have Mr. Joseph Munyangabo, Country Director, Westminster Foundation for Democracy. And he's here to listen to our submissions as we pay respect to the Queen. Right, Honorable Prime Minister?
Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I move under Rule 56 of our Rules of Procedure to pay growing tribute to Her Majesty, the late Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of the United Kingdom and other Commonwealth reign, for her extraordinary contribution to the development of the Commonwealth. Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, whereas the Parliament of Uganda received with deep sorrow the news of the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, which occurred on Thursday, 8 September 2022 at Balmoral Castle, Scotland. Whereas Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II, the head of the Commonwealth, presided over the Commonwealth with distinction for a period of 70 years, and her reign saw the Commonwealth grow from 7 nations to 56 members, representing more than 2.5 million people and more than a third of the world's population. Furthermore, aware that Her Majesty transformed the British Empire from a colonial group of countries to a commonwealth of independent and equal states, and through her reign played an important unifying role that reinforced the links by which the Commonwealth joins people together across the globe. Appreciating that during her reign, Her Majesty undertook more than 200 visits to the Commonwealth countries and visited almost every country of the Commonwealth, 2 of which were made to Uganda on 28th to 30th April 1954, and later on 21st up to 24th November 2007. Acknowledging that Her Majesty's visit to Uganda exhibited her passion and commitment to keep up to date with developments in Uganda, and have this contributed immensely to Uganda's development and global understanding, was exemplified by the ability to host international conferences and ultimately encourage direct investment in tourism, among others. Recognizing that Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II has modernized and transformed the Commonwealth into an association that fosters international cooperation and trade links between people over the world, and also into an association that upholds and advocates for democracy, good governance, peace, rule of law, respect for human rights, and access to justice for all. Now, therefore, be it resolved by this Parliament conveys its deep condolence to the people of the United Kingdom, the British royal family, and the Commonwealth for the loss of Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II. And 2, that Parliament takes cognizance of the contribution of Her Majesty towards the cooperation and development of the Commonwealth. That Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you, Right Honorable Prime Minister. Is the motion suspended? Honorable Chivumbi, Honorable Nwagaba, Honorable Girbanya, Honorable Bahati, Government Chief Whip, and the whole House. Okupa. Yes. Honorable Saro Pendi. Right Honorable Prime Minister, would you like to speak to your motion?
Oh, yes. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, this is my justification. The day Queen Elizabeth II, the British longest reigning monarch and the national figurehead, titular head of the Church of England and the armed forces, and a respected across the globe. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II was the head of state of Uganda from 1962 to 1963, when it was independent constitutional monarchy. She was the ceremonial head of state with her constitutional roles delegated to the governor or the Governor General of Uganda. That Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Her had a special bond with Uganda. Her visited Uganda on 8th to 30th April 1952 and Kazinga National Park in western Uganda was renamed Queen Elizabeth National Park in 1954 to commemorate her visit. Her Majesty later visited Uganda to attend the Commonwealth government on from 21st to 24th November 2007. Her Majesty was the dedicated head of the Commonwealth, linking more than 2 billion people worldwide. She was known for her sense of duty and her devotion to a life of service, having ascended to the throne at the age of 25. That Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the Queen saw public and voluntary service as one of the most important elements of her work. Her Majesty was a loyal patron and president of over 500 charities, professional bodies, and public service organizations. These varied from well-established international bodies working in a specialized area, all on a local basis only. The Queen's patronages and charities covered a wide range of initiatives, from creating opportunities for young people to preserving wildlife and environment. As loyal as patron or president, Her Majesty provided vital publicity for the work of these organizations and their enormous contribution to society to be recognized. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth was a role model in her family life. For most of her working life, the Queen was supported by Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, who accompanied her visits in UK and overseas. Her Majesty raised 4 children whilst under as Queen, later becoming grandchildren and great-grandchildren to the royal family. Honorable Speaker, the Queen and diligently lived her role heading the Church of England. In one of her annual Christmas broadcasts, she spoke of what she had learned from the teachings of Jesus. Thus, for me, the life of Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, whose birth we celebrate today, is an inspiration and an anchor in my life. A role model of reconciliation and forgiveness. He stretched out his hands in love, acceptance, and healing. Christ's example has taught me to seek to respect and value all people of whatever faith and none. To this commitment, Right Honorable Speaker, colleagues, Her Majesty shaped a lifestyle and work for mankind across the world. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, on behalf of Government of Uganda, headed by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and the people of Uganda, I wish to join the people of goodwill to celebrate the life of this great icon of leadership, respect, valor, loyalty, and modernity with a purpose. We send our heartfelt love and prayers of comfort to King Charles III, the royal household, the British people, and across the Commonwealth. May the Almighty God grant her soul eternal peace and rest. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Right Honorable Prime Minister, for your kind words. Leader of Opposition. Seconder.
Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I join the Right Honorable Prime Minister and honorable colleagues, members of Parliament, in paying tribute to the now late Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen of England and head of the Commonwealth. On behalf of the opposition in Parliament, I would like to join you, colleagues, in extending our sincere sympathy and heartfelt condolences to the royal family, the people of United Kingdom, and the larger Commonwealth of Nations family, upon the passing of an icon of the British monarchy. Amidst the veneration of established customs and guidedness to change, the Queen made multiple sessions in the modern era. She demonstrated formidable ability to adapt to the changing times with a high sense of duty, goodwill, and professionalism. Culture ceased to be viewed as a relic of primitivity, but rather a place at the center of modernity. The success of her reign affirms the validity of cultural institutions in advancing social transformation and development. Institutions and development. Political leaders should therefore not perceive them as antagonistic, a tendency that is gaining ground in Uganda. I take this opportunity to welcome the reign in Charles II, the monarchical authority upon the demystifies the norm that men cannot be heirs to women and vice versa. Wherever appropriate, based on ability, people ought to be encouraged Queen Elizabeth II demonstrated this herself as a world leader and perhaps for many, the longest reigning queen we have known in our time. Unfortunately, some African leaders have selectively cited her long reign as the head of state to justify their claim to power. However, they purposely blind themselves to the fact she was the head of a monarch, while they are heads of republics. No. Long fall short of the admirable attributes of the reign of the Queen as the head of state. Her tenure superintended smooth transitions of government worth emulating. She oversaw successful governments in United Kingdom led by 15 different prime ministers, last of whom the Queen accepted her credentials just 2 days before her passing on. The president interestingly made this observation in his tribute, but has on several occasions been shy to facilitate a peaceful transition, peaceful and smooth transition in Uganda. For many generations, since the accession to the crown, Queen Elizabeth had a remarkable influence on how the world is run. No more was her influence felt than in the Commonwealth family of nations. As the patron of the Commonwealth, She was at the helm of pursuing and facilitating development agenda. At the time of her death, the huge outstanding opportunity as a tribute to deepen democracy and normalize transfers of power among heads of state. Right Honorable Speaker and members, the death of the Queen. Right Honorable Speaker and members, in the death of the Queen, the United Kingdom has executed a systematic, seamless funeral as well as a transition arrangement. For years, the early 1960s, state organs have simulated the funeral plan of the Queen. The code phase, London Bridge is down. Whereas such simulation in Uganda would be perceived as disturbing the peace of the president. It is critical that funeral plans of heads of state is developed ahead of time to avert the catastrophe that may befall our country, especially when you have life presidents. Right Honorable Speaker and members, I invite colleagues to request the Parliament of Uganda. In November 2007, the Queen alluded to the Prime Minister, Sir Winston Churchill's enduring description of Uganda as the Pearl of Africa, truly gifted by nature. She also reiterated the United Kingdom committed friendship to the Pearl of Africa. She prudently aimed at the recognition of the primacy of parliamentary democracy to Uganda and the Commonwealth as a whole. In the death of Queen Elizabeth II, we are called to order to emulate the life of our institutions and systems for prosperity and legitimacy. May God rest her soul in eternal peace.
We said in mourning the Queen, and I hope we can give a united message to the country so that she knows she has left behind the united people. I think that's very, very important, Honorable colleagues. Honorable Agnes Kunhira, Honorable B. Sanywa, Honorable Cheru, Idi, and Honorable Alex Vyarugala. I'm starting with that. Colleagues, I'm going to give you a chance. Please, 2 minutes each. Crack the clock, 2 minutes each. Before Honorable Kunhira, please, sorry, Honorable Kunhira. Is Honorable, no, sorry, Honorable, sorry. Is Honorable Enos, yes, Honorable Enos is the chairperson of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Uganda chapter. And the message from that chapter where the Queen was our patron and the representative. So this first person, that message, then Honorable Margaret Rashida.
Thank you. As the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association branch, we stand to second the motion to pay tribute to the departed Queen for exemplary leadership of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. It is with deep sadness that the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Uganda branch, and all members of Parliament here, who are members by subscription and presentation, we learned of the date, Thursday, 8 September 2022, of Her Majesty the Queen and the head of the Commonwealth. City is a membership of 180 Commonwealth parliaments, national, state, provision, 15,000 parliamentarians, including the 539 of us. Parliamentary staff across 9 regions and 54 countries. The association creates opportunities for parliaments of the Commonwealth to share best practices in legislation, executive oversight, democracy, gender equality, climate change, parliamentary leadership. Queen Elizabeth supported the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association since her accession to the throne in 1952, and later became the patron of the association in 1989. As head of the Commonwealth, Her Majesty recognized the importance of the association's core values and aspirations expressed through the Commonwealth Charter, which she signed in 2013, including democracy, human rights, and peace. The Queen was also a strong advocate for the young people of the Commonwealth. During her 70-year reign, the Queen visited Uganda.
Conclude.
The Queen visited Uganda twice, and she gave her goodwill message where the Queen wished the delegates well and appreciated the theme of the conference, which was adoption, engagement, and evolution in rapidly changing Commonwealth. To this end, she wrote, "I must appreciate your thoughtful words. As an association, take note of her leadership qualities that we learned from her. From the time she ascended to the throne at a very young age of 25 years, she showed maturity, character, determination, and commitment of the highest order. She has made her one of the longest reigning monarchs in the world, a reign of 70 years. And she had several qualities, but specifically as an association, we take note of her leadership qualities and her leading by example. Her leadership qualities were exhibited during her 21st birthday speech. She addressed the nation and shared her vision with the world when she said, "I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and service of our imperial family to which we all belong," she noted. Again, we take note of her leading by example. The Queen believed in leading by example. She exemplified servant leadership. She considered her work as a service, greater other works in the same way. When Queen Elizabeth ascended to the throne, the UK was still suffering from the effects of World War II. She took responsibility for improving the situation and succeeded in getting the UK out of trouble. During the World War II, she joined the auxiliary territorial service to become an expert mechanic and driver. Despite being a queen, she trained alongside other British women, which is a testament of her commitment to serving her people. As an association, at the time of her death, we've been trying to, particularly from the African group, we had petitioned the British government to change the status of CPA from a British charity to an international parliamentary organization. Unfortunately, at the time of her death, we not achieved that, but we believe we shall achieve it through the association leadership and engagement with other stakeholders. Lastly, her death deprives the British people, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, and all goodwill people of a thread that wove the nations and the people, the Commonwealth together, that linked us to the past of the British. As an association, may we beg support the motion. May the almighty soul of the departed Queen rest in eternity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Speaker. Thank you. Honorable Margaret Ravisha, colleagues, minutes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the motion, who is none other than I want to add my voice that the person that we are mourning today is the person who was a unifier and a very open person, to the extent that in our past, as Ugandans, when one of the former presidents, chased away the Indians, they found solace in the in Britain, and they started a new life. That means that she was concerned, and her team, about the fact that this was a country that had been under the reign of the British during the colonial times. I would also want to say that during her time, we should remember, as we mourn, we should remember that it was one of her ancestors, that was King Henry VIII, that led the breaking away from the Catholic Church. But even then, she did not look back. And when you look at the history and what is happening today in Britain, it's not only members of the Anglican Church.
No, please, colleagues. 2 minutes maximum. I had allowed Honorable Beatrice Sanywa, Honorable Cheru. Colleagues, 2 minutes maximum.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm here to support the motion. And honorable colleagues, as we mourn Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, people, she was an inspiration to all, especially women in leadership. She was an environmentalist. She loved nature. And Right Honorable Speaker, she was a distinguished leader, a leader who has shown commitment, who has united the Commonwealth. And for we who aspire in leadership, especially the women, you doubt the leadership of a woman because Her Majesty stood out. I was in Parliament, Right Honorable Speaker, in 2007 when she visited Uganda. And I saw a lady who loved Uganda. At her level, she wouldn't have bothered so much, but we have already been told how she has visited all the Commonwealth governments. And these colleagues, we must pay tribute to such an outstanding lady. Right Honorable Speaker, the benefit of the government of Britain under the leadership of Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth are enormous. And we appreciate as a country, but more particularly, I'm touched with the continuous scholarships that is given to this country, given to our young generation, empowering them.
Honorable Cheru.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion moved by Right Honorable Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda to pay tribute to Her Majesty Queen. In Mr. Speaker, when a person passes on, we who are still lucky to be alive must all show unity, and we must never allow anything that appears to divide us to be presented when we are making a presentation and paying tribute to a person of this caliber. Mr. Speaker, Queen Elizabeth II was a very dignified lady. An illustrious life and a very illustrious career. It is true, I was also privileged here to be in this house when she visited, and we hosted her at Munyonyo. You could see dignity, you could see a mother, you could see somebody who was in tandem with the changes that have taken place over the years. We are indeed proud as a country that much as the colonial history may have had its own challenges, the post-colonial arrangements have brought us together as a family that today I can stand here and speak in English. And all of you can be here communicating in English. I may have my English with a bit of a teso in them, but at least I can be able to communicate to you in the language that makes us a family. In the language that makes us.
Honorable Cooper. Honorable Kino Jara. Honorable Komakech. Gari Wango. I'll come this side. Oh, I had allowed Honorable Biarugawa first before Cooper. Honorable Alex Biarugawa before Cooper. Then I will come to the Chief Whip and
Right, Honorable Speaker,
I'm
dear
going to give you a
colleagues.
chance, Honorable colleagues.
Right, Honorable Speaker, dear colleagues. I want to take the opportunity also to join my colleagues and everybody here on paying tribute to a great person that lived this earth. And we are all gathered here, honorable colleagues, to celebrate the life of an extraordinary woman who was a warrior, a stateswoman, a great mother, and a leader of Commonwealth for such a long, long time. And that to be able to speak about her, to me, is quite precious and gives me great honor. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker, I had an opportunity to also move around with the Queen through this corridor up to where she was going to plant a tree. I had no opportunity, of course, to take that photo with her, but I was there and I have those great memories. At least I brushed shoulders with her. Yes, I knew, I saw her as she was always very buoyant and had a great sense of humor. She was extremely very courageous, especially during times of hardships, as you have heard, especially during the Second World War. She never ran away from London. She was ever there. She spoke.
Yes. Honorable Idi, then Honorable Cooper. The ones I had picked first.
Thank you, sir. Right Honorable Speaker. I want to join the rest in seconding the motion that pays tribute to the distinguished leader of the Commonwealth. Right Honorable Speaker, as the country joins the rest of the world to mourn and talk about the good things that Queen Elizabeth II did, especially in the Commonwealth countries. We shall always remember her as a unifier, a great leader that did a lot of things, especially in the countries of the Commonwealth. She even gave us actually where we are now, we can't really fail to talk about, because in the chambers we are occupying now, Right Honorable Speaker, these are the few fruits and a lot of men that we shall always remember Queen Elizabeth. Having led Commonwealth for a period of 70 years, it always reminds us that age is always not a measure of performance. Even when she was 7.
Yes, Honorable Cooper. Then Honorable Kino Jara.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand here to join and second the motion as moved by the Prime Minister to pay tribute to the late Queen Elizabeth II of Britain. Right Honorable Speaker, on a closer social note, when the Queen first came to Uganda, my stepmother, the late Asio Betty Ebiao, was one of the children that received her. In 2007, when she heard the Queen was again coming, the Queen when she visited Uganda. So the children from Casilo, from St. Elizabeth's Girls Secondary School, were among those who had received the Queen in 2007 here during the CPC. So as people from Casilo, it's a great loss, but we feel connected to UK. Right Honorable Speaker, the late often called upon the young people to play a part in many global challenges that cannot be resolved by older generations alone, whether in the Commonwealth as a whole or in each of the member states. When she last visited Uganda during the CHOGM 2007, Queen Elizabeth left us with a challenge.
No, Honorable Cooper, because your mother welcomed the Queen in 1954. None of you can really give such, you know. So, Okupa, you have a favor today.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You have a challenge for unity. She had this to say to our president. She said, President Yoweri Museveni, you will be familiar with the Ugandan proverb which says, those who walk together warm each other. In its sense of unity, giving strength, this could just be as easily be as a Commonwealth proverb as a Ugandan one. That's the quote from Her Majesty at that time. Right Honorable Speaker, the late left and shaped the fashion world. Even at her age, you saw how well dressed she was, and it was a message to everyone. And that's why we give tribute also to our speaker. You see how she dresses. I think she's trying to emulate the Queen. And I want to call upon all members and people to always be smart. It sends a message even before you open your mouth. May her soul rest in the eternal peace. Thank you so much.
Honorable Kino Jara, and then Honorable Komakech.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise also up to second the motion of paying tribute to Her Majesty, the late Her Majesty, Queen of England. The Right Honorable Speaker, I'd like to pick from where the Right Honorable Prime Minister mentioned that the Queen was a role model for peace building and conflict resolution and reconciliation. I want to concur with that, Right Honorable Speaker. In 1992 to 2004, we applaud the British government through the Queen for actually financing the Amnesty Commission in Uganda. And we know the Amnesty Commission has done a lot and a great deal to bringing peace in northern Uganda. Leave alone that, Right Honorable Speaker, we have had also a radio in Gulu called Radio Mega. This was financed by the DFID, which is a British arm of government in terms of development. So leave alone that. I think the Right Honorable Speaker, in terms of peace building and
Honorable Komakech.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Jara, your mother never welcomed the Queen, so you don't have that opportunity.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I'm here to support the motion of paying tribute to the fallen Queen of Britain. Right Honorable Speaker, visited Uganda during CHOGM. I was a young boy in primary school, and I remember being paraded along the way to welcome the Queen. It's only proper that today you have given me the opportunity to also speak about about the opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, I could speak about the personality of the Queen, but that won't be enough. I just want to thank this government for picking one yardstick from the Queen's life, the yardstick of showing that women are great leaders in this country. I won't take this for granted. We have had a vice president who's a woman. We have had a speaker who's a woman. We still even have a speaker who's a woman. We have many ministers in the front bench who are women. This does not go unnoticed. And I request Ugandans that if there's anything we can learn from the Queen, is to show that our girls, women, and the future girls coming can lead this country too. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Abeja, Odero. Oh.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Oh, yes. Please. No, go on, Abeja, then.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the people of Otuke District and on my own behalf, I extend my heartfelt sympathy and condolence to the people of United Kingdom and the Commonwealth body upon the passing away of Queen Elizabeth II. Our history expresses a strong relationship that Queen had for Uganda, leaning to our colonial foundation. She has left a strong legacy service for many years. She has served as the supreme body of United Kingdom. Right Honorable Speaker, when she officially succeeded her father, King George IV, at the age of 25 years old, she approved our independence and Uganda after a big protectorate relationship of 1968 years. Her stewardship, Honorable Speaker, clearly informs the world that women are more fit to serve the topmost national position, and indeed, she has become a living women emancipation and power.
Yes, Garuango, then Odero, then Mwada.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to add my voice to the others to support the motion. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Right Honorable Speaker, it gives me great joy to be part of those paying tribute to the Queen, given the fact that she has lived an exemplary life, a life to serve beyond self. Right Honorable Speaker, many parents have emulated her by supporting the girl child. And I have one of my nieces who even named his daughter after Queen Elizabeth, and we call that girl Queen Elizabeth, because she has left a mark. For Uganda, we shall never forget her, because even when she visited us, our park, the Kazinga Channel, was renamed Queen Elizabeth. And this one will remain in the books of Uganda, given the fact that we had to pay tribute to her by recognizing her. And Honorable Speaker.
Odero.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I'd like to join the colleague to pay tribute to the fallen leader, and by singling out one thing. Her Majesty, we have seen in her that the time she came to Africa, she continued to forge a stronger bond among the African leaders. And this has been seen when she visited Nelson Mandela twice. She also went ahead to visit Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. This was in a view of bringing a stronger bond between UK and the African leaders. And also in Uganda, if you look during her visit in 1952 and 2007, it has strengthened the relationship between Uganda to wish and to pray for her departed soul. May her soul rest in peace.
Thank you. Kunyenje Mwada.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise as the Shadow Minister of Foreign Affairs in support of the motion paying tribute to the foreign queen. She was a great leader who loved Africa, who loved the Africans, and who loved the Ugandans. I was very young when she visited Uganda, but I acknowledge the fact that Britain and the whole of Commonwealth have been development partners with Uganda. And as rightly cited by the mover of the motion, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, the Queen was an advocate for the rule of law and human rights. How I wish that we use this morning week. And I hereby urge government to use the same week of mourning and pardon political prisoners, release them on bail. We have members of parliament in detention, Honorable Segirinya, Honorable Sewanyana, and so many other political detainees. Why not pardon them or even release them on bail, at least in acknowledgement of the wonderful contribution of the Queen in support of human rights, the rule of law, good governance, and democracy. I beg to move.
So I think Honorable Nkunyi is saying the UK government should release all prisoners it has.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I was
please,
I was urging this.
you don't access the microphone without my permission. Mbayo Asamo Omara.
Right, Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Loka that I represent, and on my own behalf, I join the colleagues in mourning and paying tribute to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who was a regnant of 32 sovereign states during her lifetime and 15 at the time of her death. Right, Honorable Speaker, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II executed her duties excellently, and as the keeper of the nation's constitutional frame, the monarchy used the powers to appoint and dismiss ministers, summon parliament, and give royal assent to the bills passed by parliament. Right, Honorable Speaker, the interesting facts about Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II are that she was not born in a palace, yet she lived in a palace most of her lifetime. She was in Kenya when her father died.
Asamo.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the motion, and on behalf of my family and the fraternity of persons with disabilities, I would like to pay tribute to the royal family, people of UK, and the whole Commonwealth nations. Right Honorable Speaker, under the leadership of the Queen, Uganda received funds for supporting the elder people. That is the SAGE, which we're all proud in this house, and all of us want it in our constituencies. Under DFID, we're able to support persons with disabilities. Under the leadership of the Queen, we're able to see that the Commonwealth was disaggregated. You had a Commonwealth for young people, Commonwealth for people with disabilities. She was an icon of humility. She was somebody who would think of everybody, however much small you were, disadvantaged you are, the Queen would always think about such people. It is my hope and prayer that her attributes are emulated by us, the leaders who are living today. I want to wish Her Majesty His Majesty King Charles III and the family, the royal family, good life. Our High Commission in Uganda, that Uganda stands with you in this time of mourning. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Omara and Adon Ebwaru. Now, colleagues, if you change your sitting position so that you attract my eye, you know that I won't pick you. And wherever you are seated, please go back. Because I know some of you and you're my friends, you know I'm good at watching.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to support the motion moved by the Right Honorable Prime Minister about paying homage to the departed Queen. Right Honorable Speaker, I would want to appreciate Her Majesty's government for over the years for being a friend to Uganda. Uganda has received a lot of funds through this bilateral support, which has been instrumental in the fulfillment of our various budget outcomes. The second point, Right Honorable Speaker, is about her role as the monarchy in United Kingdom and maintaining peace in a republic, United Kingdom. You remember that during the early days of our democracy, Right Honorable Speaker, we had a chartered history where we put an experiment of mixing monarchy and a republic. I hope that as a parliament, we get to learn that we can coexist with monarchy and also having a republic at the same time. And there should be no gray areas in terms of our roles. And I believe that the Queen has been able to play that role very well. So I hope that the government and the monarchy in
Honorable Ebwaru.
This does not change whom I am. Right Honorable Speaker, I joined the Prime Minister to pay tribute to Her Majesty, the Queen. The Queen has died at only 96. She has died young at the time that the world needed her most. But we pray that her soul rests in eternal peace. Right Honorable Speaker, the Queen was the epitome of the British culture and civilization. I want to appeal to our people here back at home in Uganda that if you are occupying any office, we must create a situation, we must create a conducive environment that if you fall like this, like the Queen, the country must move on. I want to appeal to our leaders here back at home. In memory of the Queen, this government can have its own shortcomings, but in the promotion and recognition of women, this government scores a distinction. I want to thank this government. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Honorable Pachuto, Gume, Chief Whip, Honorable Bahat.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
General Mwazi.
Right Honorable Speaker, I join the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and on behalf of the people of Uganda, particularly those from Pakwach, I want to mourn with the people of the United Kingdom for the loss of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Right Honorable Speaker, the Queen, under the leadership of the Queen, the government of Uganda has received a lot of budget support in areas of humanitarian area, in the area of health. In Pakwach district especially, we got funding from the Irish government where a fish handling plant was constructed at Day sub-county. Unfortunately, it has been washed away by the flooding. And now that we mourn the Queen, I would urge this government to restore that fish handling plant so that her memory lives in this country. Right Honorable Speaker, again, want to mourn the Queen as a woman. She has shown that women are very strong and firm when put in position of leadership. And again, I want to thank our government for giving the women of Uganda opportunities. That's why I stand here, very firm, very strong to represent the people of Uganda. And I condone with the people of UK. May has.
Honorable Gume, thank you, Honorable.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues,
I join the rest of you to mourn and also celebrate the life of the fallen queen. I support the motion, and in one statement, I'd like to mention that when you pass on, you belong to the past. And I have this to say. The past is past, and nothing can change it. But for your sake, you learn from that past and let it go. We have learned from the queen's existence. She created a sense of unity in the country. We were scattered in different tribes. Now we can address ourselves as Ugandans. We have a common language that unites us all. I've been thinking and imagining that if it were not for this colonialism also, there are advantages. If one was speaking in Rusoga, Teso, Lulamoji, like my own language, we would be scattered. So it is an opportunity for us to also celebrate some advantages of colonialism. I join the rest.
Honorable Boa.
Right Honorable Speaker, in 2007, while serving as the youth member of Parliament, Northern Region, and the regional youth representative to the Commonwealth Africa Region Office in Lusaka, Zambia, I had the opportunity to be a member of the International Planning Committee and the spokesperson of the Commonwealth Youth Forum that was hosted by the Republic of Uganda, a meeting that precedes the Commonwealth National Planning Committee and the spokesperson of the Commonwealth Youth Forum. We were privileged to have dinner with Her Majesty the Queen at the Buckingham Palace in the United Kingdom. During this occasion, Right Honorable Speaker, we were able, as youth from the Commonwealth member states, to interact with Her Majesty the Queen. Right Honorable Speaker, coming to Uganda, the fact that the Right Honorable Prime Minister alluded to the issue of the Queen visiting Uganda twice speaks.
I need the full story. And can you conclude the full story in 1 minute?
In a minute, Right Honorable Speaker, the fact that the Queen visited Uganda twice, and Uganda, when you look at the list of countries visited by the Queen twice, is one of the few countries visited by the Queen. To me, this was a vote of confidence, not only on the people of Uganda or our country, Uganda, but also on the leadership that we had put in place as a country. I am happy to affirm that in the 2 times the Queen visited Uganda, one of them is already on record that the national resistance movement was the one in. That is a fact. You can't run away from the fact. Right Honorable Speaker, this indicates that Uganda upholds the principles and the values of the Commonwealth. You can't host the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting where all the fraternal family of the Commonwealth come together. It is only until you fall within the category of those upholding the doctrines, the principles, and the mission for which the Commonwealth stands for. And I want to thank Her Majesty the Queen for visiting Uganda twice.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Whip. Honorable colleagues in the public area this afternoon, we have National Youth Council leaders from Teso Sub-Region. They have come to observe proceedings of this House. Please join me in welcoming them. Honorable David Bahati.
Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues, Queen Elizabeth II now belongs to the ages, but we remember her in so many ways. I do have fond memories of her when she was coming here in 2007. I played a role of a prince, and Honorable Catherine Mavengina practiced to be a queen. And when I was a student at Cardiff University, we had the privilege to visit her at the palace, and those memories will continue to remain in my mind. But also we remember the Queen as a force of influence on the world stage. She was a force of democracy in the world. She was a force of unity in diversity. You recall, colleagues, in 2009, when we moved here in this house and debated the issue of anti-homosexuality, all world leaders condemned this house. But the Queen believed that we are we have different cultures and never condemned this house. Commonwealth has different values, we have different cultures, but we cannot have one culture, and that was a very good way of recognizing that there is unity in diversity. The Queen promoted democracy in the Commonwealth. And I think as a country, Uganda, we should really be proud of ourselves that we have been a great ally for the promotion of democracy, as the Queen believed. Every year, every 5 years, under the leadership of President Yoweri Museveni, we hold elections. We hold elections. So the voices that come should really be appreciating that having a democratic process in this country is in the spirit of the Commonwealth and in support of what Queen Elizabeth believed in. Lastly, I want to say that the Queen was a symbol of peace, and His Excellency the President, in his memory, was able to tell us when we had little conflict with the government of Kenya under Arap Moi, she was able to bring us.
Honorable General Mhozi.
Right Honorable Speaker, colleagues, members of Parliament, allow me to support the motion of the Right Honorable Prime Minister paying tribute to the life of the departed Queen, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Through her persona, her life was truly monumental. She represented the British national psyche. She was the epitome of the balance between constitutional monarchy and parliamentary democracy. And last, she was the repository of British global positive soft power and influence as head of the Commonwealth. Our thoughts go to the British people. May her soul rest in peace.
Honorable Nifa Kawoya.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I join my colleagues in seconding the motion and in paying tribute to the longest reigning monarchy icon and the longest custodian of uninterrupted democracy, peace building, and the rule of law. Right Honorable Speaker, it's on record that the Queen and the government have been at the forefront in the preservation of our environment. And when it comes to this moment, Right Honorable Speaker, it's very befitting as a country that we should pay high tribute to the Queen, especially in the area of tourism. Ever since the Queen came in here in 1952 and up to 2007, we have seen our tourism industry growing and accelerating and being one of the accelerators of our economic growth. Right, Honorable Speaker, as the Minister of Health, I would also like that the country appreciates the Queen's appreciation, especially to the government towards our health sector, and especially during the time of COVID. The assistance we get, the vaccines, and all that we have received, the country will remain very grateful. Finally, Right Honorable
Uopa.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to add my voice to colleagues who have mentioned about the good things that she was able to do in her time specifically to Uganda. But Right Honorable Speaker, I want to state that the Queen was an icon of peace, and she was a lady who was committed to dignity and democracy. And in 1947, when she took over this mantle, she pledged to dedicate her life to service, and she did that consistently. She also, Right Honorable Speaker, ensured that she stuck to her lane. She did not get involved in the politics of the country. And that's why we are able to see a stable, united kingdom. Right Honorable Speaker, one thing that I also want to state, or I want to quote, is that she said in one of her quotes, let's not be too serious. None has monopoly over wisdom. Let us be tolerant to divergent views. And this is where sometimes we make a mistake, because we are not, you cannot think that you're always right. Listen to the other side too, and then make a decision.
Dr. Tahigwa, Dr. Anthony Okoro.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Speaker, sir, I stand to support the motion as moved by our Right Honorable Prime Minister to pay tribute to the fallen Queen, let me say, of the world. And specifically because of her good traits, which made her a visionary leader, hardworking, and also someone who is actually different from many other leaders, someone that embraced change. But one of the is her ardent support to health service delivery. And because of that, since she visited Uganda, and Kazinga National Park was named after her.
Dr. Anthony Okoro. Then Honorable Mawanda, and maiden speech from Honorable Kamara. No, I'm still around you, colleagues. We still have time.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. I rise to second the motion moved by the Prime Minister, Right Honorable Prime Minister, and to join the previous speakers in offering a tribute to Her Majesty the Queen. She was the pinnacle and epitome of power of a woman the world over. The Queen was the pinnacle and epitome of all mothers of the world. She gave birth to a King Charles III on the 14th of November, 1948. I was born around the same time the year earlier. It's therefore at a personal level that my love and that of my family goes out to Her Majesty the Queen and the royal family of UK. On behalf of the people of Lamour District, Major Retired Dr. Okulo Aboka Jalon Anthony, her soul rest in peace. I want to add, since I have a few seconds,
Colleagues, I understand, or there's a room.
Honorable Mawanda?
Thank you,
Honorable,
Right Honourable
since it's
Speaker.
a rumor, we can wait for it.
I'd like to
another
join
time.
colleagues in paying tribute to the late. Right Honourable Speaker, I would like to sum up the life of the Queen by quoting a verse in the Bible. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7 to 8 reads, I have fought the big fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Right Honourable Speaker, she has lived up to that. Secondly, the former Prime Minister, John Major, while talking about the late, said that everybody is capable of being famous, but not everybody can be great. That Queen Elizabeth was a great woman. That greatness is determined by the services or the hearts you touch during your lifetime. Queen Elizabeth, through her charities, through her program.
Honorable Kamara?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's correct and it's true. The Queen died, but a man of today looks at that of yesterday to know that of tomorrow. However much we debate, this Queen is not going to resurrect. What is important is that if the Queen died, there is a new king. What next? This is a queen that has been just heading over 50 countries. Some of them get problems, others don't mind. Uganda is a member, and other countries as you know them. To me, Commonwealth should not be looked at as just Commonwealth. This must be a symbol of unity, where countries must realize that they are under one umbrella. And in any case, there is a problem to one country or another, then these Commonwealth countries must understand if there is that King Charles that has taken over.
Honorable Ariko? Honorable Kamara, conclude. Good public demand.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When my brother Okupa said that the mother was among the girls that went to welcome the king, and when someone said that he came to visit Ghana when Ghana had problems, this must not continue like this. We are in Uganda, for example. We have other countries where we may face some of these problems. But one country must not sit idle looking at my brothers and sisters. We must look at the future. We must look at the future. We must understand that these countries, this world has challenges and has changes. Any other time, anything may happen.
Thank you, Honorable Kamara.
So
let's conclude. Honorable Ariko, and then Ngora.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to support the motion of the Right Honorable Prime Minister that this Parliament does pay tribute to Her Majesty the Queen of Great Britain. Mr. Speaker, I support this motion
for a few reasons, one of which is that the leadership of Queen Elizabeth II provided a sense of stability and continuity in governance. Indeed, world over, Mr. Speaker, you will find that many of the ethos of leadership was attributed to the Queen, which is why many times you'd hear people say, I am going to the Queen's land. Will you speak in the Queen's language? That was a sense of aura and stability that she provided while a constitutional monarch. Mr. Speaker, during the reign of the Queen also, that the Queen and her government shared in her leadership by recognizing excellence and as well as voluntary service of the people. That is why the ranks of the orders of the British Empire, the
Ngora.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The death of the Majesty of the Queen brings great sadness that is felt in the Commonwealth, where a commitment was resolute and by countless people around the globe. She leaves behind an extraordinary legacy of exemplary services and dignity in the public life. For more than 70 years, she devoted her whole life selflessly to the people of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. May her soul rest in peace.
Thank you. Youth, Northern.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable. I also rise in secondment of the motion. Right Honorable Speaker, by the traditions of the Luo people, death at the age of the Queen and with her enormous work is considered celebrated rather than mourned. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to acknowledge two core lessons that we learn from the Queen's exemplary life. The first one is the acknowledgement of the youth as leaders of today. He rose to the throne at the age of 25 years. This is also a reminder that we need to continue placing the young people on the table of decision making. Secondly, lesson number two is that we need to deliberately mentor our young people. If you also look at the life of the Queen.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I am rising to support the motion and join the rest of my colleagues in paying tribute to her late Majesty, the Queen Elizabeth II. Right Honorable Speaker, the Queen Elizabeth II was a woman of unmatched dignity, a woman whose public life needs to be emulated by many people in this world. Her public conduct, especially the way she has been putting on, is worth emulating. Right Honorable was a kind-hearted woman that has left lasting impression all over the world. We can look at the number of donations that have been coming Commonwealth countries under
Wokorach, then Gomba.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. I was dying to mention my prayers. Like the Bible says, that there is time for everything. Time came when Her Majesty was born, did her service, lived that life, and time came when she passed on. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to make this simple prayer, and how I wish that the institution take it very seriously. I want to say, Right Honorable Speaker, that it shouldn't stop at the British High Commission here in Uganda. I wish this institution of Parliament, led by the Speaker, sent a delegation to pay tribute during the burial of Her Majesty. As the rest of the arms of the government does their work, this institution must send a delegation. I pray.
Gomba.
Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Gomba West, I rise to support the motion raised by the Right Honorable Prime Minister for paying tribute to Her Majesty the Queen. She shared a bit of herself with all of us across the world and demonstrated an admirable work ethic. We remember her in Uganda because of the physical features and the parks named after her and her visits there too. She was a remarkable dresser, ever smart, the hat, the dress, the shoe, the jewelry, a good example to ladies all over the world. She feared God and dedicated her work to God's guidance. We thank her for coming here to grace the Commonwealth Heads of State Conference in 2007 and for all the benefits we obtained. We thank her for being a family person, for being by Prince Philip's side, and for treasuring the royal family. We always had the little ones around her. May God rest her soul in eternal peace.
Muzare Buwenju.
Thank you, Right Honorable
Colleagues,
Speaker.
I'm in charge of time here. So we can even sit up to midnight.
Yes, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I join the rest of the colleagues in celebrating the life of the Queen. Right Honorable Speaker, personally, I'll remember the Queen on two things. One, when she came to commission the dam in Jinja. Right Honorable Speaker, as we speak today, we are still enjoying the fruits of that dam. The Basoga here must be proud of the Queen. And the Baganda equally here. Even the Bateso. Okay, all Ugandans. Right Honorable Speaker, so many contributions that the British government has given this country. We appreciate the initiative of the Queen. Right Honorable Speaker, we all agree that during the time of colonialism, there was a lot of good planning in this country. All the cities that we're enjoying, including my Jinja city, the planning that is there was actually supervised by the British government. Right Honorable Speaker, we thank the Queen, Her Majesty, for whatever contribution she made to this country.
That don't get side talk and you formalize it on the Hansard. The person who will be reading the Hansard will be asking him or herself that, where were these words coming from? Because the people on the side, once they are trying to influence your direction of speech, they are not being recorded, whereas whatever you speak is recorded. So kind of don't respond to colleagues who are calling you from the side. It will make it very easy for our answer to look very clean and intact. I had allowed Buwenju, and I go to
thank you, Right Honorable
Isaac
Speaker.
Atimuge, and then Okum.
I also want to add to pay the tributes to the Queen of Wales Queen Elizabeth II. Right Honorable Speaker, Queen Elizabeth was born a leader and she has died a leader. I want to talk about her as a mother, as a leader, and a wife. Leader of many sovereign countries. But Queen Elizabeth never compromised his responsibility as a mother, a husband, as a mother and a wife. She raised her children with responsibility. No wonder today we are seeing that King Charles, who we know that he's going to take on the responsibilities of his mother without fear or favor. May her sorrow rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Isaac.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the record, I'm Isaac Ismail Otimgiu. Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, sorry, it's an easy mistake. We have two speakers.
I don't know.
Yes.
You know, these days when men work hard,
yes,
they are called madam.
Madam, yes.
And it's okay.
Yes.
It used to be that when women work hard, they are called the sir.
Yes.
Now it can be the other way around.
Apologies, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today I stand up here to take on my second citizenship. As a Ugandan British citizen, I actually feel very sad today to have lost our queen. And it's sad that I wasn't there in the UK itself to go and pay my respect in Birmingham Palace, but I'm paying it here today. So, Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank our queen, our late queen, for opening UK to the rest of the world. I actually lived in that country for 15 years. I only returned back 3 years, and now I'm serving in this politics of Uganda. And hopefully when I retire, I may end up going now to retire in the House of Lords, who knows? So we actually thank very much that the Queen did all her best not to close the UK for the rest of the world and managed it and opened the doors to everybody to be able to integrate with anyone from the UK. May her soul rest in peace. We shall miss her dearly. Thank you.
But Honorable Isaac, we doubt you. How come you don't speak like Honorable Kapsavi? Honorable colleagues in the public gallery this afternoon, we have students and teachers of Boston High School, Para from Entebbe Municipality, Wakiso District, represented by Honorable Kakembo Michael and Honorable Narima Betty. They have come to observe proceedings of this house. Please join me in welcoming them. Thank you. Yes, I had called Honorable Kumu. And then we have an unfinished story between Honorable Bahata and Honorable Mavinjina. So after Kumu, it's Honorable Catherine Mavinjina.
For the record, I'm Okumu Gabriel, Member of Parliament for Koro County in Zombo District. On my behalf, and on behalf of the people of Okoro constituency in Zombo District, I join the rest of the world to pay our most sincere tribute to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. On her coronation day, she said, and I quote, "It does not matter how long I live. I will dedicate my life to serve." And indeed, she served humanity with dignity, grace, and a warm heart. For us in Uganda, she visited us in 1954 and 2007. 12 countries together, and she will always remain in our memories. And with that, let God rest her soul in eternal peace. I submit.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable, that's not even Mavenjina, but Honorable Gon.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yeah.
I rise to support the motion for three important reasons. I'm not Mavenjina, I'm Lematia.
Lematia Rose. Yeah.
On behalf of people of Maracha, Maracha East, I want to say the Queen lived a very, very decent life and a very, very fruitful life to many of us. One, I remember the Queen because she was born a year after my mother. Two, I remember the Queen because the English was introduced in my year to be taught in in primary two. When she visited Owen Falls in 1954, I was in primary two, and we were taught to sing for her health. We used to sing yearly for her during her birthday for God to save the Queen, and that she's a gracious Queen, she should live for long. And now she has lived long. I praise God for that. Now that the one who is ascending to the throne is 73. And I think in Uganda here, Ugandans should stop saying.
Honorable Gidudu, Honorable Fox Odoi, and then Honorable Gidudu. Honorable Fox Odoi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion. Mr. Speaker, on record for supporting the building of institutions in this country. I will illustrate. Many of you who are as old as I am will remember the British military training team that helped us to transform our army from the National Resistance Movement, the NRA, to the current UPDF. You may also recall that in the 1990s, the British sponsored a number of expatriate judges to the judiciary. We had a judiciary that had totally collapsed, and Her Majesty's government sponsored the likes of Justice Platt, Justice Beko, that laid the foundation for the judiciary we have today. Mr. Speaker, you may also remember that up to today, many of our military officers get training from an elite training school, Sandhurst. I don't know why General Mohozi forgot to talk about this. I am raising all these examples to show that Her Majesty.
Honorable Gidudu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the older persons in Uganda, most of whom sang God Save the Queen, our deepest condolences and commiserations to the British people. Honorable Speaker, the Queen was a lady of clout, a lady of majesty, dignity, humanity, femininity, and unifier. By coincidence, the Queen is a mother figure. The son was born on 14th November 1948. I was born on 1st November 1948. Mr. Speaker, our president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is a son of Kaguta. President Museveni is not a monarch. And he has given us elections every year. And we appreciate that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is part of the British inheritance, democracy, rule of law, humanity, and that one we continue. And we hope that when the opposition comes.
Yes, For the record, the elections are every 5 years. Honorable Rabrindori.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand to add my voice and support the motion of the Honorable Speaker, of the Honorable Prime Minister. A lot has been said about the Queen, the unifying factor, the icon, peacemaker, etc. Here I will add one thing. I will offer my prayers for her soul. Then, Honorable Speaker,
Honorable Senyonyi.
Honorable Speaker,
colleagues, always use your time.
I wanted to make one request that on the team going for
Thank you.
Yes. The honorable, if you know you've corrected any Mabugo from Ibanda municipality, then we shall see of delivering it through the British High Commission. Honorable Senyonyi.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Then Honorable Christine, Honorable Bwanika, Honorable Mujiche.
Right Honorable Speaker, I join colleagues in commiserating with the family of the departed Queen, the people of United Kingdom, and the entire Commonwealth family. But I'll not only commiserate and mourn. I wish to celebrate her life, the 96 years that she lived when she reigned as Queen. Mr. Speaker, next month, we are going to celebrate independence as a country, our 60th independence. I get bothered many times when I see people, leaders in our country, blame some of the challenges we have today on our colonial masters. It does not make sense to me. 60 years later, we should have grown up. If anything, today, we should be thanking our former colonial masters for some of the good they do today. They support our healthcare, they support education, and all of that. So I get bothered when I hear people today who will blame issues of governance, issues of bad health, and so on and so forth, and you hear them say, our colonial masters. I think we need to grow up. You cannot be 60 years, for example, and say you are an orphan. It just does not make sense.
Yes. Honorable Christine.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand also to mourn the befallen Queen. We are very happy that her death was announced a peaceful death at 96. Right Honorable Speaker, we celebrate the Queen's life management. Because I remember in the UN conference on climate change last year, 1st November 2021, the Queen reminded us, the leaders, to act above government and politics. And she requested us that we act as statesmen, because she reminded us that that is when we shall be able to serve the children and the children of our children. And she also reminded us to always do actions that will end in some time, that we shall all die at one time. And so we are supposed to mind about climate change. We shall remain echoing your message, the late Queen. May your soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. Honorable Mujiche, then Honorable, Dr. Bwanika Mujiche, then.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right. Lived an exemplary life in leadership, as a commander-in-chief, as the head of state, also as the head of the Commonwealth. Here in Uganda, we are going to remember her and her contribution to the modern Uganda. She oversaw and she commissioned the power generation in this country. the on-force dam, which contributed to the new Uganda. We are not going to forget her role in the charity that has touched millions of people globally. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, a lot has been said. I want to add my voice on behalf of the people of Buweju to support this motion. Right Honorable Speaker, many people, when they become big, they develop a sense of entitlement. They want to show they are powerful, they have a lot of money, they have a lot of authority, but we are talking about a humble human being. Very powerful, but humble. The other people want to show you who they are. They want to tell you they are generals. They can fight. They can imprison you. They can beat you. They can do anything to you. They have a lot of money. They even splash it in the public. Want to thank her for living an exemplary life, a humble life, and may her soul rest in peace.
Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker, I stand on behalf to support the motion. Right Honorable Speaker, on the side of sports, the Queen has been very instrumental in supporting sports. This has been exhibited through the Commonwealth Games, which is one of the highest platforms where sportsmen come and showcase their talents. Secondly, in 1954, the Queen helped of the people of our grandfathers who fought in World War II. In 2013, the stadium was demolished. And he promised that within 3 years, it will be put into place, into service. It's 9 years now, Right Honorable Speaker, to have no Nachivo Stadium. I want to task this government to look into the memorandum they made with the developer to make sure Nachivo exists. We have a lot of memories from that stadium. What if King Charles comes now and wants to visit Nachivo? Where will he go? I beg to submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Kavanda, then Santa.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I watched on news formation of clouds in UK. Clouds made a formation in the image of the speaker, which looked a little rather in the image of the fallen queen, which was a bit miraculous to many people. I think the universe has made a connivance to pay tribute to the fallen queen. I join the Prime Minister and the whole universe to pay tribute to the great lady. And as we pay tribute to her, I would like to make a dedication. I would like to make a dedication of 2 of her quotations. One, to the many people that are suffering, those imprisoned, many of them illegally detained. The Queen said, while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again. I dedicate this to Honorable Sejirinya and Honorable Alan Sewanyana. The Queen also said, it is worth remembering that it is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring about most lasting change. I dedicate this to many that are fighting for change. Finally, friends.
Honorable Santa.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the motion of paying tribute to Our late Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II. Mr. Speaker, in 2009 and 7, when the Queen came here, I joined Ugandan by welcoming her by a baby girl given to me by God, and I named her after Queen Elizabeth II. Just because I had read a lot about her, I was so much impressed. This very great, brilliant, beautiful, and hardworking lady. Mr. Speaker, I come from Northern Uganda, where the Queen helped us a lot through the UK government when we have the instability by supporting our cultural institutions. So I support the Right Honorable Prime Minister when she talked about peace building. Indeed, she was a peace builder. Lastly, she did so well
our productive and reproductive role, Mr. Speaker. As a leader and a woman, we saw so many leaders, women leaders coming up, Prime Minister, having a leader again by the name Liz at this very time that the Queen has passed on. I salute you. I want to thank you so much. May God bless
Honorable
you.
Aogon.
On behalf of the people of Kumi municipality, I humbly want to second the motion, paying tribute to the Queen. Right Honorable Speaker, she was a peaceful lady, soft-spoken. She knew what she was always doing. And she would always, while opening Parliament and closing Parliament, be brief and articulate. Whenever she would lay out the government policy or policy ideas, she was sharp and brief to the point. Not like the way sometimes some people can confuse their ideas and get lost in their own ideas. Right Honorable Speaker, I did not name anybody, but I said some people. Right Honorable Speaker, the Queen died at least after seeing the new Prime Minister of UK. But she died before seeing our oil of Uganda. Number two, she also, yes, Right Honorable Speaker, she died before seeing the next president. Right Honorable Speaker, this is my right to speak because I am a member of Parliament. This country deserves good followings. We need to copy.
Youth Central. Then Honorable Nancy.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the young people in Central Region and on my own behalf, I extend condolences to the people of United Kingdom, particularly the royal family, for upon the passing away of the Queen. For my generation, history informs us about a strong bond the Queen had with the people of Uganda in Central Region and Uganda as a nation during the time of colonial ties. She has been a pillar to empower women, and that answers the question whether women can be at the top of the helm of leadership. And indeed, she has left a legacy, a good legacy. Right Honorable Speaker, the Queen, her love for sports, she supported Arsenal. Myself, I support Liverpool and Bulemes FC. But I find it a great contribution to the sports fraternity and the entire world, and a rich lesson to us leaders to be engaged, to be deeply engaged in sports, because it engages people, different people from
Honorable Nancy Achola.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I join the rest of the world to condole Elizabeth II. On behalf of the people of Acholi sub-region, we want to say thank you to the UK government. When the northern region was ravaged with the LRA insurgency, we received so many aids that helped people when we were living in the IPDP camps. Two, I want us as leaders to emulate the footsteps of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, especially the women who are leaders. Our smartness speaks volume. And I want to thank on this note, Right Honorable Speaker Nita Mong, that even when Queen Elizabeth has died, she lives in Uganda. I see she's depicting the smartness and everything. Thirdly, on issues of sports, there are so many women who are sports women and they are not being recognized. Even in this house, I have my sister, Honorable Alum Santa. I think she has picked some of those things from the UK government. We want, as Ugandans, to emulate good deeds that Queen Elizabeth did for this country, did for the world. As member states, I propose, Mr. Speaker, that we need to join the work.
Yes, honorable colleague.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Ekudo Tom Julius is my name. I join the House in paying tribute to Her Majesty, the Queen Elizabeth II. I remember her when she sent funds. The royal family sent funds for the construction of Diana Memorial Hospital in Soroti. The hospital that now serves the people of Teso and Soroti at large, including my constituency. And my people in Gweri County benefit a lot. That's why I remember her so much. And I am one of those who feel like I should join the rest to go and bury her. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Sekabira. Colleagues, Parliament of Uganda has not stopped any of you from going to bury the Queen. Yeah. If you want to go, you can go. Yes. Just come and seek for my permission in case. Okay? Yes, Honorable Sekabira.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. And I also want to thank you and honorable members here for allowing me to be the chief mourner for the fallen Queen Elizabeth.
We've not allowed you to be a chief.
Ugandans here and overseas, Right Honorable Speaker, to mourn the death of Queen Elizabeth II. For one, I had a lot to talk about the Queen, but I was moved by the statement from Lope on how the people of the United Kingdom prepared themselves for time. And I want us to also borrow a leaf as a country, as Uganda, to prepare ourselves for such moments. And even how they broke the news by saying the London Bridge was falling. I do not know how we shall break news here in Uganda. May the soul of the fallen Queen rest in peace. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Namuga Goreti.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also join the rest of the world to pay tribute to the fallen Queen. On behalf of the people of Magola County, we realize the role of women in leadership. Right Honorable Speaker, I cannot underestimate the contribution of the Queen towards democracy and good governance. Right Honorable Speaker, the rule of law is very important to any country that looks forward to serving its people. And I think as we mourn or pay tribute, we should also think about some of these aspects. Right Honorable Speaker, good governance and security is one of the areas where I spend a lot of money in our budget. And I think we should think about some of these and have a very genuine conversation of how can we see a peaceful transition in this country. Right Honorable Speaker, I'll say we have a Uganda ahead of any individual person. And as Ugandans, we should be held accountable for the future of this nation. May her soul rest in.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to join the people of the UK government in Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Right Honorable Speaker, in our culture, when someone goes at the age of 90 plus, we really celebrate her life. And looking at the age of Her Majesty, 96, I really feel, Right Honorable Speaker, we thank the Almighty God for taking care of her and all what she has done.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I pray that this Parliament and government a smooth change of government. Right, Honorable Speaker, I am happy that yesterday our president was in Kenya witnessing the smooth change of government from one president to another president. Let us organize this gift in memory of our great Majesty King Elizabeth. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, Queen, Right Honorable Speaker, I am happy that Queen set a very
Honorable Remricha.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues. The Right Honorable Speaker, I want to join the rest of the world and the Parliament of Uganda in paying tribute to the fallen Queen, Queen Elizabeth, attributes to the Queen, tributes to the Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. The Right Honorable Speaker, I think as a world, we've lost a great leader, we've lost a mother, we've lost someone who stood for peace. The Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, as the country, we got our independence in 1962. We thank her so much for having granted us independence. There are some African countries that took long. They begged, and some countries like Kenya, they went into popular struggle. Blood was shed, but in Uganda, we went on the round table, and Uganda was granted an independence, and now we are independent and running our own affairs. I want really to thank her for that and stand with the people of UK. I want to thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Doa.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, also join on behalf of the women of Serere District and the people of Serere District, and on behalf of the fishing communities of Uganda, I also join to support the motion. And this brings me to encourage Ugandans, when you have a daughter, don't try to look for another person in the form of a male to be the heir of your home. Women can change, be the heirs. Whether they are married, let us honor them. As long as they are the firstborns, let's give them the honor to be in charge of our families when we are not there. Secondly, I visited UK. They are protecting their legs. They don't accept illegal fishing. And I want to encourage Ugandans, for the love that Queen had for the country and the protection of the environment, may Uganda keep the wetlands, may Uganda keep the fish until it's mature enough to eat in order for us to emulate.
Thank you, Honorable Nakadama. Right, Honorable Nakadama.
Right Honorable Speaker, Her Majesty officially visited Makerere College on the 20th of February 1959 and presided over the opening of the University Library building, as well as the 1959 graduation ceremony. In her remarks, Her Majesty said, I quote, "I learned with particular interest that amongst those students whom I have just received is the first African woman, Josephine Namboze, currently an emeritus professor of public health at Makerere University School of Public Health, to qualify as a doctor in East Africa
by virtue of a standard in medicine and surgery recognized by the General Medical Council of Great Britain. I thank you, and may his soul rest in peace. May her soul rest in peace.
Thank you very much, colleagues. This is to inform you that a special commemorative service, please sit. When the speaker is speaking, yes, this is to inform you that a special commemorative service has been organized by the British High Commission in honor of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II on Thursday, tomorrow, September 15th, 2022 at 2:30 p.m. at St. Paul's Cathedral, Namirembe. All of you have been invited, colleagues. Colleagues, we have had a long debate. And from what you've talked about our Queen, it has reminded me of the famous words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, and I quote, "To laugh often and to love much, to win the respect of intelligent persons and the affection of children, to earn the approbation of honest critics, and to endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to give of oneself, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or redeemed social condition, to have played and laughed with enthusiasm and sung with exaltation, to know that even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded." End of the quote. The Queen lived such a life. She has lived it, and I want to thank you for having paid a glowing tribute to her. I now want to put the question that this House pays glowing tribute to the late Her Majesty the Queen of England for her exemplary leadership of the Commonwealth. Those in favor say aye, those against say nay. The ayes have it. I now direct the clerk to transmit a copy of the resolution together with an extract from the Hansard on this motion to the UK government through the British High Commission. And we shall always pray for you. Thank you, colleagues. Colleagues, I'm going to adjourn the House for 10 minutes. We come back for another session whereby we shall consider one of the bills. And I hope you'll be here in exactly 10 minutes. I hereby adjourn the House, and you'll be here for another session of the House.